all across London, where I, along with many of the people here today, have spoken about the inhumanity of our transport system. At King's Cross, at Bow Roundabout, at Bressenden Place, and many other locations, forever tinged with the desperate sadness of loss. So this inhumanity of our transport system, it leaves families and friends grieving from the sudden and violent loss of a loved one. And that leaves our city brutalised on an almost daily basis. On our railways, we have all but designed out risk. But on the roads, in our towns and our cities, sorry, I've lost the plot here. But on our roads and in our towns and our cities, we allow huge buses and construction trucks to mix with pedestrians and cyclists with inevitable and tragic results. The cost of all this construction is very high. Our city is being sold off to the highest bidder as every spare piece of land is developed into unaffordable housing that makes London increasingly out of reach for people on ordinary salaries. But the cost of construction is much higher than the sale or rental price of the flats in these shiny new blocks all around us. As a local councillor in Islington, much of my time is spent helping residents who live next to a very large construction site. They want to curb the movement of spoil lorries when they're walking their children to school. A pretty reasonable expectation. And people in this street are particularly aware of lorry danger. Just 14 years ago, Zara Adams was killed around the corner, age 4, when her buggy became caught in the wheels of a lorry as she accompanied her older siblings to school. The sadness of Zara's death stays with me daily as I walk around my ward and makes me determined to use every means at my disposal to reduce lorry danger and reduce risk. This repeated toll of violent death and serious injury on our streets is unbearably sad. That we are gathering to witness the death of the 4th cyclist to die this year is an absolute abomination. But Claire Hitier-Abadie is among 30 or possibly 31 people who have lost their lives on the road since this year began. Just yesterday, a young woman was killed in Camden by a drunk driver while she was crossing the road. So what can we do? We need to make a transport system that tackles health and social inequality. The way we get about says a huge amount about the kind of society that we live in. If people can access shops, schools, work and home using walking, cycling and public transport wherever they live and whatever their income, then we have a transport system that really works for the common good. But how do we do it? We all know what we need to do. All the campaigning organisations will tell you, but we've actually got to make this happen. We need to reallocate space on our streets. We need time at the junctions to be given over to people who are walking and cycling. We need to ensure that people have access to efficient and affordable networks of public transport. We need to reduce the motorised traffic and the parking capacity of our roads so that journeys by bike and on foot are safe, convenient and attractive. And we need to rethink freight. It's possible for about 50% of the goods that are delivered by white vans to just as easily be made on a cargo bike. Just imagine the difference that would make. And we need a step change in road safety. We need to reduce danger. We need to change the culture around speed.